It's just past the 8 o'clock open. It's Friday the 30th of October. It's the last trading day in October. I'm in a sell position here that I took at the 8 o'clock open. I'm looking for the market to fall down around about 10 points. I can see right now it's pushing against me. It's against me, well, it was 5 points. It's fallen down to 3.5, 3.7. At the open, the market can move very quickly. It can also be quite erratic where it bounces against you and it bounces with you. It's a little bit indecisive. This trade is based more on market dynamics rather than pure price action. I'm going to talk you through it once the trade completes either successfully or against me. However, I am looking for around about 10 points. The market's come down to the sort of 390 levels, and as I've said, I'll talk you through it once the trade is finished. I may actually add to the trade if it now begins to move in my direction. So we'll watch it for a few more minutes. We can see it's popping down now. However, with a large tail like this, the market can often pop down, and when it gets to the lows of the candle, that's where other buyers step in. It's purely because they see value. They've seen a very long run up. The market then falls down and they buy into the market at the lows. Now it's falling away. We're at 3 points. As I've said, I'm only looking for round about 10 points. I believe that will take me to my target for the week also. I'll put my weekly results at the end of the video. I don't want to do this every week just purely because, if I'm being very honest, I can't be bothered adding it every week, but I'll add it again. That will be 3 weeks of results in a row that I've posted. Last week was only a 3-day trading day because I was in London. So we'll see what happens. I will pause the video for a minute because the market may now bounce up and bounce down. Let me just have a quick watch of it actually. I'm expecting a little bit of a reaction off of the pivot point. I'll let it run for another minute or so and see what happens. So what else can I talk about whilst this trade is running? And we've made a run up overnight. We closed down here somewhere. The market has then ran up after hours trading, after night. It's pushed all the way up into 6,420. I would ideally like to have sold from up here somewhere. However, with trades that aren't on price action and are on pure market dynamics, I'll only take the trade at the open. It's just a rule I have, so unfortunately I couldn't get in higher up. It would have been a nicer entry, but 9 times out of 10, the market will lure you into a trade and then turn against you when it's something like market dynamics. So I didn't want to take it. I waited to the 8 o'clock open, which is my rule. I got the setup a little bit lower than I would have liked. However, I'm now in the trade looking for 10 points. So we can see it's reacting off of the pivot level. It will react off of there. I'm still expecting it to break through, but I will pause the video and come back when it starts to make a significant move, one way or the other. And just quickly add to the video again, we've had a very strong bullish run, which has rejected. So I'm just waiting to see how this candle closes. It's pushed up a lot higher than I would have liked. However, the rejection has came in, so I'm not too worried. We can see it's rejected there. As I've said, the market at the 8 o'clock open can be a lot more choppy. It's when a lot of orders come into the market, so it's a bit more difficult to get a reading on the market. It usually settles down after about an hour. A lot of amateur traders, in fact a lot of professional traders actually, they completely avoid the sort of open hour of trading. I know some very successful traders who completely avoid the open of the Dow Jones, the FTSE, and the DAX as well actually, just purely for this reason. So we have had a push up, have had another rejection. So I'm just waiting to see what price action does, and then I will come back again. Just going to give you a couple of little tips on the 5 minute time frame here whilst this trade is still running. First thing is, on 5 minute candles, quite often the last 30 seconds of the candle forming is when the real sort of definitive moves will come into the candle. So it's really when you'll see the candle setting up properly, is the last 30 seconds. Also, when you can see how we've had a tail here and we've had another tail here, and they're exactly the same. This is also right on the pivot point. This is a sign that there are a lot of buyers coming into the market. So it's good to be a lot more careful, because I'm in a sell trade now. I am going to be a lot more careful. I want the market to break these lows now. If it doesn't break these lows, I would look to just exit the market. My stop for this move, I've already explained. I always put in an emergency stop. So my emergency stop for today is 25 points. That's going with the previous few days price action, judging the way it's moved, the amount it's moved. It's very rare that I'll allow my emergency stop to be triggered. I'll usually stop out the move manually if it moves against me before then. I let the market tell me what it's doing. I let the market tell me when I'm wrong. The stop is just purely a safety net, because trading, it's very rare, but it is sometimes unpredictable. There may be a sudden huge injection of funds in the market, or just spike up before I can react. There could be a news release that I've missed which will cause it to rally up. So I always have an emergency stop. It's a way to protect your capital. It's a way to set up your risk management, and I would always advise you to have a stop. A lot of people don't have stops. It's extremely dangerous. I actually know 2 people, I believe it is, who have been what I would have considered relatively successful. They were making a living out of it. It wasn't fantastic, but they were making a living out of it. They were managing to build their account whilst also paying themselves a wage. Both of these people use the method of no stop, only a mental stop. Both of these people completely wiped out their accounts. They are now back in office jobs, working full time, purely because it wasn't actually news releases. The market didn't spike against them. They just allowed their emotions to let losing trades grow larger than they should have, over and over and over again. And the more they did it, the more it compounded, the more it decimated their account. And as it was decimating their account, it was wreaking havoc on them emotionally, which made it worse. And they both lost their complete account, their entire account. So always have a stop when you're trading. It's very important. And you're playing with fire if you don't have a stop, in my opinion. I have mental stops, that's how I trade, but I also have an emergency stop just in case. If it moves up to the 25 points, no matter what happens, I will be stopped out. Even if my mind is telling me, oh well, I should really give it a little bit more leeway, I've already decided that's the emergency stop. That's the cutoff where I am definitely 100% wrong, and that's where I would get closed out. Okay, so it's still reacting off of the pivot point, as we can see. It's made a slightly lower low. I would have liked to have pushed down a little bit further. We've still got well over a minute of the candle to form. Hopefully it will break down and we will get the movement that I'm expecting off of this. We're at 4 points now. Minute left. We're going to have some support down here. We can see the market has created a low here. All these lows here. This is overnight trading. You tend to find the overnight trading, especially in the first sort of hour, 2 hours, the high and the low will show quite a lot of support and resistance. So we've got down here and up here. I'm looking for 10 points on a sell position, so I would be very careful down here if it reaches there before 10 points. So I reckon it'll be about 6,390. I'll look to exit. So last 30 seconds of this candle, Not much is happening. I'm hoping it's going to break down just a little bit and take out these lows here, and then I'll be more confident in the trade. There we go. What we can see is it's done that and it's pushed back up. Still jumping around. You can see it's looking to close right on those levels. It's pushed down. There we go. So I'm more confident now in the move. Only looking for 10 points out of this one. Can seem like a short move to a lot of people, but that's how I trade. I decide usually before I enter the trade what I'm looking for. And a lot of trades on price action, I'll let the profits run if the market tells me that it's worthwhile. However, on market dynamic trades like this, it's based on experience. It's based on what I know professionals, or how I know professionals are looking at the market. So trades like that, I'm just looking for the setup that I was evaluating to complete, and then I'm out. So we can see it's pushing up a little bit higher. It's probably going to push up to these lows, the pivot, and then hopefully reject again and fall down. 6 points. Live trades, sometimes they can take a little bit longer than you expect. A 5-minute time frame, usually my trades, quite a lot of them, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour. But occasionally you're sitting with a trade 2 hours, 3 hours. I've had trades that have opened 8 o'clock, 8:10 in the morning, and it's only completed at 4 p.m. So there's no way to know exactly how the market's going to move, when it's going to move. You just have to read the market and make sure your trades are for a good reason. So there we go, 10 points. There we go, I got 11 points. Very nice. Trade is now complete, it's successful. It's the first trade of the day. It's probably actually going to be my last trade of the day because I've had a good week. Yeah, you can see £220 sterling. So let's talk you through this trade. Go on to the daily time frame first of all. Now, what we can see, let me make this bigger so you can see it. We've had this price action here is what I'm looking at. We had this day here where it popped up and rejected. So it tried to break out of these levels basically that these candles have made, pushed up, rejected, the market then fell away. We had a very strong up day, and then we had a rejection day, a down day. The down day came all the way down to the lows, rejected, pushed higher. Now, this is first of all, this is a continuation spike. If you're going to read tails like this, if there's no space to the left of it, technically it's a continuation spike. It's not a tail. That's not a positive tail. It's not a pin bar. Now, because of this, if we go into the 5-minute time frame, the market closed down at the 6390 levels. You've probably all heard of gap close trades. Now, first thing I would like to say is I would highly advise against trading all gaps on indexes. If you do that, you're going to lose a lot of money. The reason I took this gap close, so the market closed at 6390, down these levels, down here somewhere. Large banks and institutions, they trade off of official prices. So they trade off of the official FTSE operating hours, the 8 o'clock open, 4:30 close. That's their prices. That's the prices they work with. So the market closed down here yesterday. Overnight trading is pushed higher. It's opened, as I've said, I would like to have got into the market here somewhere, but for market dynamic trades, I'll only enter at 8 o'clock. The market fell down. We're still above this 6390 level. We've had a continuation spike on the daily time frame. We're also sitting in a tight range where the market is rejecting to the upside and rejecting to the downside. So the market has no real bias as yet. It hasn't decided what it wants to do. Because of this, I knew there was a very high probability with the market opening above the previous day's close with a continuation spike to the left of it, and with the market in a tight range, I knew it was very high probability that the gap would close, that the institutions and banks would ram the market back down to the closing price at the open. I can see that's exactly what it's done. It came all the way down and then it has rejected very strongly. So that's a trade off of, it doesn't use price action. This, I take trades like that. I wouldn't say often. I would say maybe once or twice every fortnight. You get a nice setup. As I've said, please don't trade all gap trades. It's a very quick fire way to lose a lot of money. I only do it because I understand the market. I've been doing it for long enough where I can, well, I like to think that I can read how the market will react to certain conditions. And as you can see, it was a nice trade, successful trade, completed very quickly. It's not 8:30. I've got £220 sterling now, and yeah, I think I'm going to finish for the day. What I'm going to do quickly is I'll pause the video, bring up my results for the week. I'll show you the results. As I've already mentioned, I don't want to have to do this every single week. I've now done it for the last 3 weeks. You've seen the results. You've seen that what I'm saying in my videos is accurate. I'm not making it up. I'm not one of the scam artists that are out there. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video, load up the IG, and I will take you through the week's trading. Okay, so I've opened up the IG account. I've got the profit and loss open for the week. As you can see, again, it's all the FTSE 100. Position size is £20. The smaller position sizes are what I've gone over before in previous videos. If it's a less high probability trade, I will often take smaller position sizes. So you can see here, that's exactly what I've done on this one. It's a sell position here. The market then, it's 6399.8. The market then moved in my direction, gave me another signal. I entered in again with another position, 6399.8. That's how I'll trade if it is a trade which isn't quite as high probability as I would like. Okay, so let me make this bigger actually so we can see them all. So here we go. So if we look down the day, first of all, there's all my trades that I've taken this week. We can see we've had one losing trade there. So it's only one losing trade over the week, which is, you know, I've already shown in my previous results, I don't tend to have a lot of losses. On some weeks, I mean, no trader on the planet can say they never lose. They have nothing but winning weeks. I mean, I know undoubtedly through the year I will have a down week. It just happens, it's part of trading. There will be weeks where there are more losses. This loss here, I'll quickly take you over. This loss should have been a lot smaller. I allowed myself to become involved in this trade and convince myself that the market would turn around, even though the market was telling me that it didn't want to. This is to show you that this does happen to everyone, even people who have been trading for a long time, even professional traders. But as soon as this happened, I didn't let it affect me. I corrected myself. I went over the trade. It won't happen again. But yeah, there are still occasional, very small mistakes. You can see it doesn't matter. These ones down here, you can see 76 pence, huge profit there. £6, another huge profit there. These ones are what I consider break-even trades. So these are ones where the trade has moved my direction. I've brought my mental stop to break even. As the market has come back down to break even, I've manually closed, and it's closed me out slightly in profit. I always close it, you know, just when it gets to break even, just above, so I'm out in a tiny little bit of profit rather than a tiny little bit of loss. It's just purely psychological. I prefer to see profits than losses on the profit and loss. So what we can also see is if we open up, add all these up, I've had another good week. It's 8:30. I'm finished by. I was actually finished by. I'd say the afternoon every single day this week. Usually about 10:30, 11, but a couple of days it was slightly later. There's a trader who subscribes to me on YouTube called Jack Turner. I've actually been speaking to him quite a lot this week on Facebook, and he can confirm that I've been finished all this week by very early. So if we add all these up, what we can see, profit for this week, £2,038.26 sterling. So I've said that my target for each week is around about 2,000. I'm not greedy. I've learned that's not a good way to trade. So if I reach my target, I just, that's me finished. It's 8:30. I'm finished for the day. I'm finished for the week, and looking forward to the weekend. So hopefully that was helpful, guys. As always, please do subscribe to Decisive Trading if you are learning how to trade. It's completely free, and I try and post up at least a couple of trading videos per week. And I'll also leave the address for the training site up on this video. It just saves people emailing me. I usually get a couple of emails a week. So the training site will be on the video. Okay, I'm James R, guys. I hope you had a great trading week. Thank you.